Speak to yourself like this to manifest 10 times faster. So today is a law of attraction video. We're diving a lot into the teachings of Neville Goddard. And what we need to really address is our internal dialogue, right? The way that we talk to ourselves. Because if you have a internal chatter that's very similar to, let's say, something along these lines, which might be, I never get things right, I can't do this is too difficult for me, I'm never going to get what I want in this life, things just seem to never change. If you have like so you catch my drift, yeah, you could have this internal chatter. And it's this internal chatter that we need to start changing so you can have more belief in yourself. And that's pretty much it, right? Having more belief, because these thoughts come from doubt and just a belief in yourself that just is non-existent. So it's not about pumping yourself up with affirmations you don't believe, because one of the things that Neville Goddard teaches is one of his books, and it's called The Feeling is the Secret. So it's all about developing a feeling then of belief in yourself. And one of the ways that you can do that is by switching to affirmations that do make you believe in yourself. But most of the time, if you say a statement like, I can manifest things very easily, but you don't feel it, you don't believe it, the universe only responds to your feelings. So you need to think of things that you do actually believe that are more positive. So maybe you don't quite believe that, yeah, I can manifest things easily. Perhaps you don't believe that. But instead, you might think of something a little bit more better than that, which might be, the things that I want are coming. And because there's not a time frame on that, because you're not saying that you manifest things quickly, you're not saying, there's nothing there, there's no expectation there in that statement. So that's a really good affirmation if that, for whatever reason, you don't believe that you can manifest things quickly. So it's all about just finding something that you do believe, and then using that until you get into a better mood, and then you actually do start to believe that you can manifest things very, very quickly. Okay, so you're starting off at a point where you feel like, yeah, I believe this, I believe that. You believe that statement. And then once you get into a better mood and your internal chatter starts to change, then you can, think these things that are more sort of grandiose, things that you may think that are impossible, basically. Because that's what it all is really to do with, like, manifesting is all about trying to achieve the impossible through our actions and through the way that we're thinking and the way that we're feeling. And a lot of people think that, okay, I need to be thinking certain things in order to manifest something. But when really it all comes down to, you need to be feeling certain emotions. And if you've got a negative chatter and your internal dialogue is not a very nice one, then it's going to be very difficult for you to be feeling good and to be feeling on the vibration of receiving the things that you want to receive. So it's all about changing your emotions, okay? And changing how your emotions are day to day. Because more likely than not, if you haven't manifested the things that you want in this life, it could be because you are still feeling on a very lower vibration throughout the day. So you're not experiencing as much joy, as much ease, peace, delight, and you're not living in positive expectation that things are going to be happening for you and things could happen for you today. So the idea then is to think about, okay, so how do I feel in the mornings? How do I feel in the mornings? Now, for me this morning, I had to get up to make videos. Didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it, right? Not today, not this morning. I was really tired and didn't want to get up. And I was sort of in bed complaining about the fact that I wanted to get up, that I needed to get up. And then I caught myself and I was like, well, what am I thinking? What am I doing? What am I doing? This is not how I want to be feeling in the morning. I want to feel vibrant in the morning. I want to feel like I've got the energy to do what I need to do. and I want to feel excited for the day. And I want to be in positive expectation because today is a new day and anything can happen. And I'm excited to see what could happen during the day. And when I think things more like that, it kind of gets me going, gets me up, and makes me feel better. And, I just think, okay, well, today, it's like what Abraham Hicks says, right? Nothing is more important than I feel good. So I'm just going to tend to myself and feel good and get myself in that feeling state of feeling amazing, so I have an amazing day. Because I think we've all had that experience of where we sort of wake up on the wrong side of the bed and we don't feel very good. And because we don't feel very good, and maybe we're complaining about all the things that we've got to do during the day, we just, living in that sort of like complaint sort of state. And it puts you in a negative mood, and it sets you up for a negative day, because more than likely, if that's how you feel during the morning, it's going to continue up throughout the rest of the day. So you got to think about how you feel in the morning when you wake up. You got to think of how you are at most stages in the day, because there's probably like some pivotal moments that happen during your day, some crucial segments. So the morning when you wake up is the first segment of your day. It's the first part of your day. And then you move into like the time when you're having breakfast and you're getting ready to go to work, getting ready to go to school, whatever it is that you're doing in your life right now. And then it moves into, when you're out the door and you're doing your day-to-day activities. And then you get your afternoon, you get your lunch break, those kinds of things. And then you get you're coming home, sort of air time. And then there's the evening routine, and then there's the bedtime routine. So you have all these different sort of segments of the day, these parts of the day. And you've got to really examine how you are feeling throughout those points in the day. Now, obviously, we live in a world with other people, so it's very hard then to because we've got to react to other people, and we sometimes do react to other people in negative ways. So you may have an intention that you're going to have a really good day, but then something happens during your day with a colleague or a friend or something like that, and it puts you and knocks you off balance. So you have to set up intentions before the day begins, okay? And you're going to say to yourself things like, no matter what happens during today, I'm going to feel really good. And you think, okay, so, all right, I'm in the morning, so I've woken up. How do I want to feel? What do I want to think? What do I want to experience? And then you just keep on doing that as you enter new parts of your day. And thinking about, and basically what you're doing is you're planning ahead. You're planning ahead of how you're going to respond. You're planning ahead of how you're going to feel. And therefore, you're in more control of your vibration. Sure, some things may knock you off balance. Some things may happen that can do that. But as long as you're always trying to remember your intention and how you want to feel, then you're going to manifest things in your life much quicker. And it's important that you're thinking things that are pleasant, that are nice, how you want things to be, not how things are or how things have been or how terrible you feel. Okay, you got to be thinking of how do I want to feel? How would I love to be feeling on a day-to-day basis? And then you sort of live from that. You're living from the end. So you're essentially thinking, how would I be acting today? How would I be feeling today if all of the things that I wanted were manifested? It's a good question to ask yourself. It's a good thing to say to yourself. It's a good thing what your internal dialogue should be, something along those lines. It should be like that. Okay? How would I like to be feeling today? How would it feel if everything I had already manifested? And how am I going to use that energy? Okay, because one of the things that I truly believe is that action is really important. Yes, the law of attraction is a thing, and I do believe the more better you feel and the more high vibration that you are, the more easy it is for things that you want to trickle into your life, those manifestations. But I also believe in action. But if you tend to your vibration first and you feel good first, okay, before you take action, the action that you do take will then be more effective because you have contemplated and you've thought nice things and you've got yourself into a feeling of, well, you just feel better, right? You just feel happier, you're in a better mood than you were 5 minutes ago before you started the process, okay? So it's all about having these intentions and just finding ways to think things that how you'd like them to be, thinking about nice things, thinking about pleasant things, thinking about things that haven't happened yet, just for the sake of putting you in a good mood, right? And just to continue focus and to continue to focus on that, okay? So that's one of the ways that you can manifest things very, very quickly, by just tending to your vibration and thinking things and saying things to yourself that put you in a really, really good mood, okay? And when you feel good, then you know that you're in the right place to start taking action, so that you can bring these things into your life that you really, really want. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like help with me personally and you'd like coaching, then please go to www.christinelovridge.com, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.